Guys, we're here with Bob Barker and Pat Barker, and Bob and his family have been very, very instrumental in the development of Cherryville in the past 20 years, I would say. I guess the Cliff Notes version of Bob Barker.
The Cliff Notes version was I was born and raised in Cherryville, and on the Carlton Mill, a mill village boy, and grew up here in Cherryville, and I went to school in Chapel Hill for a while and wound up in Campbell University getting my degree. But I've always loved Cherryville, and it's always been my hometown, even though I've been mayor of a couple other towns and state senator representing Wake County and all. But Cherryville has always been a special place in my heart, and I really got more interested in it in the last 10 years, just remembering the cherry trees that were in Cherryville that we used to sit under when I was a boy and eat till we were sick. But the blight killed them all out, and Cherryville cherry trees has played such a great part in the town. That's the way it got its name, from cherry trees along a railroad track. And I thought it would be a great idea to start trying to replace these cherry trees. And so I presented the idea to the Rotary Club, and I didn't get a whole lot of response. And finally I said, well, I'll pay for the trees if you'll plant them. And they said, oh yeah, we'll do that. So they didn't never start planting, so we finally had to hire somebody, and they started planting. Anyway, we've got going on 1,000 trees planted so far.
Wow, 1,000 cherry trees in Cherryville. I see them around, and they're about in full bloom this week, it looks like.
Yeah, and I've been involved in downtown revitalization for a number of years. I helped in Apex when I was mayor there. I helped revitalize that downtown, and then we moved to Fuquay. I was mayor there, and we started the revitalization there, and I think that's where Cherryville really saw what downtown revitalization can do for a city. And so I told them that I would help as much as I could with doing it. And they started it, and it got it rolling, and it just turned out to be fantastic, and I'm so proud of it.
Now, behind every good man is a better woman, usually. Do you have anything to say about Bob? And I know you're the backbone, probably, of Bob.
I'm very proud of what he's done and what he's meant to Cherryville and to Fuquay Arena. And he's been a very interesting husband. And my children, who are now 52 and 54, think that he's a great father.
Well, many people in Cherryville think you're a great individual, father, donor, and I know I'm from Cherryville, been here all my life, and I really appreciate what all you've done for Cherryville, and I think it's been the spark and the seed of a lot of great things to come. Now, you graduated, what year did you graduate? 1953.
And my wife and I, she has a master's from Duke in organic chemistry, and she has a master's in business also from Duke, and so she has helped me build the number one correctional supply companies in the world today, and we cover all the United States and some European countries and Caribbean and so forth. And our children now have pretty much taken over and run it. They're the CEO and CFO. So we're still involved. I still work. I go to work every day.
But we're grateful it's not all up to us now.
Bob Barker Companies, exactly What exactly is that? Can you explain a little bit?
It's everything that an inmate uses in jails and prisons, from their clothing, their bedding products, their personal hygiene items, their medical products, their bedding, and almost everything that goes into a prison except the food. We don't handle food. But we just celebrated our 50th year in business last year, and it's been great. We've got a foundation now that we are really proud of, that we are out to reduce recidivism in jails. Almost all prisoners, like prisoners that are served time and get out of jail, 50 to 70% of them will go back within 3 years. That's what's called recidivism. And if you can break that lots of times it runs in families. Father, grandfather, son, on down the line. Every one of them goes to prison.
So it's sort of a career path.
If you break that. And we started the foundation about 15 years ago, trying to find groups that can break this. And we have found small groups all over the United States that we fund up to like $25,000. And we give away about $1.5 million a year to these groups. But they reduce recidivism down to in the teens. But the only thing that really reduces recidivism to less than 1% is a college degree. And we have talked Campbell University into starting a degree program at Sampson County Prison. And this is the third year. We've got the first group will be graduating in August with a degree. And then we got about 30 or 40 people right behind them. And we started in another in Anderson County in the women's prison and doing it. So the legislature is beginning to notice us and has promised them some help with it. But that's the only way we ever going to break recidivism is a college degree.
Here in Cherryville, if in business and anything, if you could give one word of advice in business, what would you give?
Well, and what
to have a successful business?
Passion. If you've got passion about something, that you'll work your head off to do it, and you believe in it strong enough. If you don't have passion about it, you might as well forget it. And so many businesses fail. Very few businesses go beyond the second generation. We're in our third generation now that we have grandchildren that are involved in it. So we're hoping that we're going to be able to break the cycle and continue on.
Now, Cherryville, we're heading on the right path with the downtown revitalization. What do you think Cherryville needs to continue to do for its continued success? I know Cherryville's still a town around 6,200 people. What do you think the core value of Cherryville is, as far as, just like in the speech that was given, it'd be better to have 6,200 quality than quantity.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I was just telling Jill about this, that they need to get a real good idea of what they want to become as far as the town is concerned. I can see a Main Street program build a city in a lot of other areas. People measure a town. They think of a town as what's downtown. And if you can, somebody call a city and say, have you ever been to Chicago? You think about the downtown area. Have you ever been to New York? New York downtown area, they're worldwide like that. But I was telling Jill, I said, if you can find what people want search out through these other communities and towns where they're having real successful businesses, and in those towns, try to get them to come to Cherryville. Or bring that idea to Cherryville and let somebody else do it if they won't do it. But you find what's successful and you reproduce it. You don't have to go out and invent the world again.